Chair, Department of Public Works. We've done the pledge already. Could I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Fanton,
Here.
Mr. Demick,
Here.
Mr. Barnes,
Present.
Mr. Curran,
Here.
Mr. Sear,
Here.
Mr. Healy,
Here.
Mr. Stockin, and Mr. Harris. 7 present.
Thank you. Yeah, Tom, we're ready for you.
Thank you, sir. Is approval of minutes the first? Tiffany?
We need the approval of the minutes, I'm sorry. I forget about those. Can I get a
Chemical move.
motion on that?
Chemical move.
Healy will second.
Thank you. Additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is moved. Okay,
right.
now, Tom.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
First update is on our capital projects, 3 of the main bridge projects. First one is County Route 26 demo. The contractor has started. They're about almost halfway across with removing the deck off the structure itself. They've also started removing trees for the access way down to the river to put in the causeway. And they're on schedule, and we have our first scheduled progress meeting tomorrow. So we're going to have them bi-weekly, and but everything seems to be moving along. Another capital, North Main Street in Andover. We're still waiting on the eminent domain procedures. We've started that clock. They're working with DOT right-of-way to make sure that everything is correct. And then as soon as we have that back, we can take action on that process and hopefully move that one forward. And then Madison Street, we got confirmation with another meeting we had with DOT local and our consultants. We are moving forward with the one-span design structure again, based on the increased costs that Maine DOT office was requiring with a concrete deck and other items. The consultants were able to analyze cost estimates, and that's on par with a rehab. So instead of having 3 spans that would have to be replaced in the future, we would only have 1 span. So we're looking for that to go to final design and ready to rebid in the next couple months. So any questions on those? Yes?
Yeah, what do you mean by going from 2 spans to 1 span or what?
Yeah, so the original design was there's 3 spans right now, 2 approach spans, and then the center span goes over the railroad tracks. Their initial design was to remove the piers, infill with a gress wall, which is a geo-reinforced earth wall with blocks on the outside, but that's what the bridge was going to found on. DOT main office didn't like that, so now they've kind of made a difference between the two. We're still going to do a single span just over the railroad tracks, but they're going to rehab the piers, and that's what the bridge itself will found on, and then they'll infill behind. So it's better for the future, because then it'll be less monies to replace that structure, and it takes care of some other issues that are underneath the structure itself. So
As far as longevity, same as what
yes.
we,
Yeah, it actually will be a better longevity from the rehab option. So, and less maintenance, because right now, every one of those spans is a simply spanned structure, so you've got water issues in between them. With a single span, they're gonna push the expansion contraction joints beyond the abutments, and we won't have that infiltration coming down through, so it'll be a better design.
Mr. Chairman,
thank you.
Yes.
Tom, can you remind us again of the breakdown in the funding on that, approximately?
Yeah, excuse me. That's a standard pass-through project, 80% federal, 15% state, and 5% local.
Sounds good to me. Puts us in good stead for the future.
Exactly. Any questions on those 3? Thank you. Next on the agenda is a resolution for intermunicipal agreements. We request a resolution be prepared to approve the county to enter into an intermunicipal mutual aid agreement sponsored by the Allegheny County Town Highway Superintendent's Association. This agreement allows any participating municipality within the county of Allegheny to assist another municipality with highway projects, maintenance, and emergency road work. This has been passed numerous times, and it's just a renewal every year that we have to do.
Demick will move.
Cyril,
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. Discussion?
That's a great agreement, Tom. I get a lot of good feedback from that. Thank you.
I think it's a great thing, yes. Gary?
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is simply between the towns.
It's the towns and the county.
County.
So the
Okay.
towns can help one another, and we can help the towns, and vice versa.
So the county
Yeah.
can participate in a town project, and
correct.
vice versa?
That's correct, yes.
How does that work? So if the county works with the town of Scioto, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and then the town of Scioto has to kick in on an outside of Scioto project, more likely.
That's correct.
To make it up, is that the
And
way?
truthfully, it's been going on forever. It's
Yeah,
nothing that we've started. It's a matter of, and that's really how we control costs and help one another. You know, there's a lot of entities, a lot of towns don't have the personnel to do a full project, or the expertise, or the equipment. So we'll help them out, and they'll help us with hauling and things that they can help with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Part of the process being like when you see a bunch of trucks go to one town to chip seal, you may have 8 different towns there. They can't legally do this without this agreement by state law. But it helps everybody out, you know, it doesn't cost you a lot of money, so.
Yeah, Jen?
I just was curious why this can't be like a 2-year contract that runs with the term of the highway superintendent and the supervisor instead of having to do it every year.
It's a good question.
I'll acknowledge that. I'm the one that's put the last 2 together for this term. It was at one time for 5 years. That's not legal. It has to be done every year because your boards can change every year. So it has to be redone as a resolution for every municipality. That covers that, and that was given to us by a lawyer to tell us to do it that way. So I know it's tough, but, you know, that's the legal part of it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is permission to award our bridge decks, box culverts, and abutment system. In your packet, you have the bid tab from January 12th. The pre-stressed concrete bridge superstructure and guide rail system, LC Whitford was the only bidder, and the prices associated, so I'd like to ask for permission to award to LC Whitford.
Healy will move that.
Thank you. So second?
Kern, second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. The next on there is the precast concrete box culvert system. Here you can see we had 3 bidders, and Binghamton Precast was the low bidder on both culverts, and I'm asking for award to Binghamton Precast.
Stockton moves.
Thank you. The second?
Demick will second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. And the last is the precast bridge substructure for the one in Cuba, Local Bridge 1521. Lakeland's Concrete Products was the only bidder, and I'd ask for permission to award that.
Kern moves.
Thank you. The second? Mr. Barnes, seconds?
On these that have only one bidder, what's the normal reason that we can't get more bidders?
I can tell you from a Whitford standpoint, they're almost the only game in town. There is another manufacturer of this type of bridge product, but they're in the north towns, and they have bid before, and they've been very close. But they've got to coordinate with a local contractor to help with delivery and setup. And so I actually talked to them when we were in Saratoga for the County Highways Association, and they were going to bid on ours this year. They just didn't have a chance to coordinate with the local contractor. So they do plan on bidding again next year. But I also double check them versus what we've been receiving in the past, and I can say these were actually under my estimate in all of the counts. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is creating a capital project. We request a 2023 capital project be established for County Road 11, County Culvert, Local Culvert 1133 in the town of Almond. And that's in your MOE explained.
I get a motion on that?
Curran moves.
Is there a second?
Cyril, second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. The next one is a capital project creation. Public Works requests a 2023 capital project be established for County Road 10, County Culvert, Local Culvert 10-09 in the town of Scioto.
Cyril moves.
Thank you. Second?
Demical second.
Thank you. Discussion on this?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Barnes?
Just a brief question. Why is it referred to the Scioto County culvert?
Good question.
County road.
It's a county road in the town of Scioto. It probably should have had the T, town of Scioto, in there.
Sounds like there's, got a county within a county.
Yes. No, it's the town of Scioto, but county culvert.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That is approved.
And the next capital is Public Works requests a 2023 capital project be established for County Road 9, which is a county bridge, local bridge 2405 in the town of Scioto.
So
And I'll
moves,
make
Cyril.
that-
Thank you. I get a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Barnes seconds. Discussion on this.
I'll make that
All those
same
in favor
change.
say aye. Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. And the last capital project to be created, Public Works requests a 2023 capital project be established for East Main Street, Town Bridge, Local Bridge 1521 in the town of Cuba. And this will be part of the town and county bridge program and has a split cost ratio of 15% town, 85% county.
Healy will move that.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Barnes seconds it. Discussion on this one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. And then to go along with that project, we're asking for a resolution is required to approve county-town bridge share agreement authorized under the county-town bridge cost share program, which is resolution number 6595, and that's for the East Main Street, Town of Cuba, local bridge 1521.
Healy will move that.
Stockton second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. Any questions on highway? Any of those things or any, before I move on to solid waste? First on the solid waste is, we request a resolution to enter into a contract with Labella Engineering for the Allegheny County Landfill North Stormwater Ponds upgrade. The improvements are intended to alleviate the drainage and groundwater issues under County Road 48, and the total of this contract is not to exceed $53,630, and that money would be coming out of H8174, which is post-closure capital.
Can we get a motion?
Demical move.
Okay, Barnes and then
Demick.
Fred Demick.
There you go.
Discussion on this one.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Do we have any other contracts with LaBella out at landfill?
We do currently.
Do they do the monitoring out there?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
Yes.
this kind of makes sense all the way
Yeah.
around. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the same individuals that would be doing our work out there actually did some of the original design work for that stormwater. So,
Anyone else?
Thank you. Thanks again. Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
thank you. Next on the agenda, No MOE. We just need permission to bid up to 4 ejection containers and 1 recycling container for solid waste.
Could I get a motion?
Curran moves.
Thank you. Second?
Demical second.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. Moving on to buildings and grounds, we request a resolution to enter into a 3-year contract with Stark Tech, previously UNS Services, for preventative maintenance and mechanicals at the courthouse complex. And on the MOE, it shows what the first, second, and third year contracts are. And the first year's is budgeted in the 2023 budget.
That motion is moved by Seer.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Barnes seconds it. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I was just wondering if there's any additional funding that might be available for that project.
I think,
It's mostly maintenance
Yeah.
and preventive maintenance type work. So it's right out of our operating budget that this funds come from.
You receive any revenues elsewhere or that cost,
I don't know offhand, but I can get you that answer.
chargebacks?
Yeah. You're welcome.
anyone else? Mr. Barnes?
Yeah, I have a quick question on the landfill, or actually the transfer stations. The current policy is if you lose your
Hang tag?
yeah, your card or whatever
Yep.
it is that you purchased to use it on a year's basis, and if you lose it, you've got to buy a brand new one at full price. Is that correct?
Go ahead.
The reason I'm asking is I have a tenant that's been bugging me about it, or not a tenant, but a constituent that's been bugging me about it, and I.
We appreciate the question. If someone were to lose their tag, they would have to purchase another one at half price. But we keep track of that information, and if they're able to find the original tag, they bring them both back to us, and we refund that, the replacement cost.
The policy is if they purchase, what is it, $100?
$250.
$250 a year.
Correct.
Okay, so if they lose it, they can get another one for half that, or
Correct.
125?
Correct.
And if they eventually find the original one, they can get it back. If they don't find it, it's cost them $375.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, where were we? We got a vote on this,
Stark.
so
yes.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you very much. I know we have old business on there. Was there any old?
Any old business? We'll move to new business.
Okay, thank you. First on the agenda there is permission to purchase equipment. DPW requests permission to purchase a new Cat D6 dozer from Milton Cat, who is on OGS, and the quote is in your packet. If you'll recall, in the budget process, we had asked for a grader. And as we were working towards getting quotes on that, it became apparent that our D7 dozers were not safe. And we asked for permission, and you granted it to us to auction those off. So the proceeds from that auction is on the MOE. It shows $172,610. That includes both the dozers and the tracks that we had. And then we had budgeted $375 for the grader. So I'm asking, in replace of purchasing a grader, is to purchase this D6 dozer, which we had the ability to try out on County Route 48. And that would come out of the H5197 capital highway equipment. And according to our records, there's about $1 million in there right now. So the purchase price would be $487,673 for Milton Cat, who is on OGS.
Demical move.
Seer will second.
Thank you. Discussion on this?
Yeah, I'd like to just make a comment. We talked about the intermunicipal agreement. When we talked about this originally to move this forward, the grader was mentioned. Most municipalities have a grader. Hardly no one has a dozer of any kind. So it was in our best interest to make the decision that we buy the dozer so we have it and available to share, along with if we needed a grader that ours isn't working, that many municipalities can step up and work with us. So I think that's a good idea. Thanks.
Well, also the two that we auctioned off were, should have been gone a long time ago, so.
That is true.
So it's worked out very well all the way around.
And this is like a mid-size dozer with six-way blade and everything. You can,
It's got just a simple pushing blade on it.
Just
And it's
pushing blade?
It's a rather large dozer. It's
Okay.
got the extended cleats on the tracks, high track, and it's, according to the operator, got a lot more power than the old ones. So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, it'll do everything the D7s did and then some,
correct, yes.
for sure. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yes.
I just
Jan?
was curious, what's the delivery time on those? I mean, do you have to order them are they way out like the trucks and everything?
Well, luckily, this one we have on site. Because we were able to demo it and they had one, we were able to keep this one if we can get approval to buy it. So, yes, unlike the trucks that are months out, this one we were very fortunate.
Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you very much. The next one, I'm not sure if it still is on your agenda or not, but I know it was on the original one. We were working to get permission to order a haul truck, tandem axle dump truck, and we were not able to verify if the one we were looking at is on OGS, so I'm going to table that, it's pulled off, and I will bring it back to you next month. I just want to make sure we have everything in line before I even bring it to you, so we have hard numbers. So the next one on the agenda would be the zero-turn mower at the jail. Request permission to purchase a zero-turn mower for the public safety facility. The purchase price is $11,414.48, and that is in the current year's budget.
Okay, could I get a motion?
Seer.
Thank you. Second?
Healy.
Kern, thank you. Discussion on the mower. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you very much. The next one is an easy one. It's, well, for now. We don't know pricing for it, so we're asking for permission to bid a 30-foot roll-off deck that can be used, our bridge crew to haul steel out, haul scrap steel back to, for recycling, and to haul other large equipment on. During the budget process, we had actually submitted monies to do a full truck. After discussion with solid waste, and between AJ and DJ and Wayne Marvin, they decided that we could use a tractor from solid waste if we just bought a roll-up flatbed that then we could just load up with steel and whatever else and be able to utilize equipment that we already have. So it's going to be much, much cheaper. Brand new replacement truck with a flatbed. We budgeted around $225. We're looking in the range of $30,000 to $40,000 for just a flatbed. And I think it's a multi-purpose. We'll be able to put a water tank on it if we need to in the future. And that way it's not tying up a truck just for simply one duty. It can be used on multiple things.
Very good. Somebody want to move that?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. The next on the item on the agenda is to request permission to hire our summer help, 19 seasonal help. The hourly wage that we were aware of was already set at $15, and this funding is in the 2023 bridge budget, and that's the same number that we've had for the past years. So just trying to.
Curran moves.
Thank you.
Healy will second that.
Thank you. Discussion on this.
Just, I'd like to comment as a very worthwhile program. It allows us to do some additional work that's needed because of this time of year, because of the season, and it frees up our other staff to do more important work that needs to be done that time of year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I know it's always worked well in the past. It's been a benefit for us as well as the kids that we employ. So it's just a good program, really good. So,
Very good.
all those, yeah, okay.
The number 19, how do you come up with that?
I'm gonna let Dean answer that one.
Historically, thank you for the question. Historically, we've tried to assign each road maintenance district two summer help folks as well as buildings and grounds and solid waste. The Friendship Shop, we assign a few extras so that they can be assigned to different areas by A.J. Young, our general supervisor, or D.J. Freeman, depending on what the needs are for the different districts, or at the shop. And they do a lot of mowing and flagging, that type of thing. So it gives us a little bit of flexibility to reassign extra help to other areas if we need it.
So the basis of my question is that's ample, couldn't use many more?
For now, we're in pretty good shape. We've, in the last couple of years, have had a little bit of trouble filling all of the spots. But Tom's been in communication with BOCES, and we're going to meet with them soon. And we're trying to work kind of in hand with BOCES to see if we can place some BOCES kids that are in the heavy equipment program. And we also communicate with guidance counselors of the schools, too, to see what students they may recommend for the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you. And just a quick FYI before I go to the last item. If you recall, a month or so ago, I asked for permission to demo our Quonset hut, cold storage truck facility that the state inspector deemed uninhabitable and should be tore down. It is down. We were able to accomplish that. There's a picture that I'll put on the back table. But, so they were able to get that down and we actually got some scrap value out of it, so. And then the last item is the safety program, just an FYI. We've implemented and handed out a policy and safety manual to all of our employees. This manual will go to any new hire as well as summer help. It outlines all of our procedures and policies for safety, personal hazards, protective equipments, PPEs. It covers all of our lockout, tagout, and various other policies that are countywide. But one of the things I always want to highlight is what it does is it also does a toolbox or tailgate safety trainings. And our foreman will be in charge of training their own personnel weekly for about 15 minutes every week, and on topics, some various, but there's OSHA and PESH require certain ones that get covered every year. And so we'll be making sure that they get covered as well as getting documented, so we have that for future. So, talking summer help and flagging, that's part of it. That's part of some of the trainings to make sure that they're better prepared to be out there flagging. Flagging is a dangerous job, so I just wanted to update you on that. That's all I have. Thank you. I knew I forgot one.
Yep, okay.
I went right on by it. Last on the agenda, I promise, hopefully, permission to issue an RFQ for space needs and building analysis.
Okay, could I get a motion?
Demick will move.
Can I get a second?
Helio, second.
Thank you. Discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Go to the order? Need a motion for adjournment.
Kern moves.
Mr. Barnes makes a motion. Can we get a second?
Curran, second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.